Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're looking at something profoundly, universally human, something that goes way, way beyond just learning a new language. We are stepping completely out of our carefully curated, deeply protected comfort zones and walking straight into a messy, unpredictable, and entirely unscripted reality. Think about it. We live in a world where almost everything we do is prepared, right? We draft and edit our emails, we rehearse our presentations, we use filters and scripts to present the absolute best versions of ourselves. But the source material we're analyzing today, it strips all of that away. It follows this incredible experiment where someone decides to have a genuine, real-time conversation in a foreign language with zero preparation, zero safety nets, and absolutely no guarantees of success. 14. Just 14 days. Seriously, I really need you to grasp the sheer audacity of this number. We are talking about an impossibly short time frame to learn a completely new language from absolute zero. I mean, imagine starting with a totally blank slate. You don't know a single letter of the Cyrillic alphabet, you have zero concept of the grammar, the syntax, or even the sounds. And exactly 14 days later, you decide to put yourself in front of a real, live native speaker to hold an actual conversation. The clock is ticking, the pressure is literally immense, there's absolutely no time to become an expert, and there is nowhere to hide. It's breathless, it's fast, and it's a massive challenge.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. What actually happens when you drop the script? When you strip away the textbooks, when you close the language apps, and when you can no longer rely on those perfectly rehearsed dialogues? Okay, let's dive into this, because what unfolds next is a brilliant case study in facing raw vulnerability head-on. We're going to watch the complete breakdown of exactly what happens when the human brain faces a real, unscripted conversation with absolutely no preparation to lean back on.
Section 1. The fear of speaking, taking the leap. So this is the very first major hurdle of our micro-hero's journey. There is a massive psychological chasm between day 13 and day 14. Just think about day 13, speaking alone. This right here is the ultimate comfort zone. It's a highly controlled, incredibly safe environment. When you practice alone in your room, you can hit pause, you can consult your notes, you can totally butcher the pronunciation without any judgment. The only critic in the room is you. But day 14, talking to a real person, that is where you lean into true vulnerability. It's a massive leap into the unknown. The sheer terror here comes from the unpredictability of another human being. You don't know what they're going to say, you don't know how fast they'll speak, and honestly, you don't even know if you'll understand a single word that comes out of their mouth. Facing that fear is the defining moment of this whole journey. Section 2. The first real conversation, the dialogue begins. Let's set the scene here. Noor initiates the interaction, pushing past all that initial gut-wrenching hesitation to finally cross the threshold. Taking a deep breath, Noor says in Russian, "Hi, my name is Noor." When you analyze the source material of this moment, there is a palpable, heavy wave of relief in Noor's voice. This is the rehearsed exchange. It's the one sentence you practice over and over again in the mirror, right? And when the words actually come out right and the silence is finally broken, the bridge between two people is officially built. Immediately, the native speaker responds warmly in Russian, "Hi, nice to meet you." And what's really fascinating about this warm, friendly, and predictable response is how it acts on the brain. It provides this very brief, almost dangerous, false sense of security. The rhythm feels entirely manageable. Your brain is essentially telling you, "Hey, I recognize these words. I can actually do this." It is absolutely the honeymoon phase of the conversation.
Emboldened by this, Noor continues, slowly piecing the sentence together in Russian. I'm learning Russian for 2 weeks. It is hard, but interesting. In the source audio, you can literally hear the mental gears turning. There are pauses. Noor is actively searching the archives of their brain for the right vocabulary. But the message successfully lands. This is a tremendous early victory. By successfully communicating their current status, that they've only been learning for 2 weeks, Noor sets the context, manages expectations, and holds their ground in a foreign language.
Section 3. The unexpected hurdle. When the script ends. Well, the training wheels are about to come off. Suddenly, the dynamic just violently shifts. The native speaker replies, but this time the words are delivered fast. They ask, naturally and at a normal conversational speed in Russian, "Why are you learning Russian?" This is the exact moment the rehearsed rhythm shatters into a million pieces. The speed and the complexity of an unexpected question force the brain to pivot from a controlled, slow output to trying to rapidly process uncontrolled, fast input. The script is officially gone. Freeze. Yeah, that is exactly what happens. It's a heavy, agonizing pause. It's the physiological spike of internal panic. The classic deer in the headlights moment where your cognitive load hits its absolute maximum and your brain just temporarily shuts down. Every single person who has ever tried to learn a new skill knows this exact terrifying feeling of pure mental static. But here is where the true test lies. Noor pushes right through that debilitating freeze. They don't quit. Instead, they stumble out a messy, fractured response in Russian. I want to study and live in Russia. Look, it is not elegant. It is filled with hesitation and filler words. But Noor literally laughs it off in the moment, basically just hoping it made sense. That ability to laugh at the discomfort, to embrace the messiness of the process, that is exactly how you survive the unscripted reality. Section 4. The realization of progress, surviving the panic. Surviving that exact panic, that is the true elixir of this entire journey. So the crucial point is understanding the anatomy of an unscripted reality. When you enter the real world, native speakers talk faster than your learning apps. You absolutely will not understand everything they say. But here is the magic. You catch some words, you use context clues, you read their body language, and most importantly, you continue anyway. Breaking down this messy reality shows us that the goal isn't immediate fluency. The true win is simply staying in the conversation when every fiber of your being just wants to hit the escape button. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate takeaway from the source material. You know, traditional education systems drill into us this relentless pursuit of perfect sentences. We're taught that success equals flawless grammar, zero mistakes, and perfect pronunciation. But the source material argues we must completely redefine success to mean real communication. It's messy, it's imperfect, but it successfully bridges the gap between two minds. Real communication is about genuine human connection, plain and simple. Let's see how this staggering progress actually builds across our timeline. On day 1, the very concept of having an unscripted conversation with a native speaker was considered literally impossible. You just don't have the tools. But by day 14, you survive the panic. It is incredibly messy and it is undeniably difficult, but it is no longer impossible. You've proven to yourself that you can do it, which perfectly sets up day 15. Because you survived the difficulty, you boldly decide to push even further, planning for an even longer conversation tomorrow. The boundaries of what you are capable of have permanently expanded. Which brings us to the final, lingering question I want to leave you with in today's explainer. Are you afraid to try, even if it's messy? Whether you're learning a new language, taking on a new role at work, or trying to master literally any new skill, there will always be a moment where you have to drop the script and face the unpredictability of the real world. The progress you are looking for isn't hiding in more preparation. It's waiting for you out there in the messy, unscripted reality. So don't be afraid of the freeze. Embrace